What's up guys, hope you're doing great. Today I have a behind the scenes or a run through on how we build two setups in one space for a music video. Let us get right into the video. So we're going to start with talking about the camera setup. Alright, I didn't go with a huge budget. Of course, this music video was actually on a budget in general. So I went with a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera 4K. And for stabilization purposes, I used a Ronin S, DJI Ronin S, and that was just about that setup. And I was swapping from using it with the Ronin as well as going all handheld as a traditional setup. Okay, so with my setup, I didn't really do so much about particularly the set design. All right, we started with a bedroom scene where this bedroom scene had to have some particular things that you definitely normally see in a bedroom. All right, so we had this wardrobe where we had some things right there in the wardrobe, as well as some practical lights that served as visual display as well as visual pleasure for the audience, as well as it also influenced a little bit of the whole lighting setup in the room. So I started with some shots with the model, and the model had to give me some particular movements so that I could get some close-ups, different or diverse shot sizes, so that I could get enough B-roll sequences for the music video entirely. After the model was shot, I joined her with the artist, and the artist did his best to perform to the camera as well as perform with the model as well. Most of the time was spent on shooting the B-roll sequences of the model so that we could get enough for the music video, because the track actually had a slow tempo and we had to have a lot of slow motion shots within the shot. So having the model dancing around the artist performed to the camera in most of the shots, and we also had them commune in front of the camera on the bed to show the love that they have for one another. All right, talking about practical lights, we had two lamps. One was a standing lamp and one was a table lamp that stood right next to the bed. Both of them actually stood right next to the bed, and the model had to be close to one of them to get influenced by some of the light and also to capture the practical light in the shot as well. So I was alternating having both lamps in the shot, as well as one being in the foreground and the other in the background, to create some depth in the shot. Speaking about the elephant in the room, which is a lighting setup, we went with some lights that are actually versatile, which means that we could change the colors as we liked. And because this space was just a small space where we could use these lights, which are not too strong, it still sufficed for the shots. And we could change the LED lights to any color that we pleased, any color that would work. And we also went ahead to separate the colors as well. So one character can have one particular light in color and the other will have different color, just to create some separation as well as depth, and to also help us control what the audience will see or would like to see. Back to the set design, you're going to see a setup where we had something that looked like aluminium foil, but it wasn't actually aluminium foil. We went with some wrappers that we turned it inside out to display or expose the silver part of it, just to create some reflective surfaces for the lights to bounce off of against the subjects, as well as to create some visual display and pleasure also in the shots. So that was why we went with that particular background, so that the light could reflect here and there, bouncing off the silver surfaces and back into the camera, having the artist also there in the shot. Speaking about directing, I had to direct four individuals in all, two artists and two models. The first model I think I've spoken about already. Wasn't too difficult to shoot because it was all about some performances around the artist, as well as some performances all alone on the bed, to be used as slow motion during the post-production. But the second model this time had to stand most of the time to shoot against the silver material, and we had to make her dress in a way that she would sync with the background, and so she wore something white. It was woolly and feathery in nature, and that's what we went for the costuming of the second model. And she danced right in front of the camera, as well as having the light being bounced back from behind and hitting her back, creating some visual pleasure as well as some light and separation. We went with a lot of contrast with this particular music video in its entirety, and the model did a great job at all that she was doing. We introduced yet another artist who happened to be the featured artist on this particular music video, and we had to have a shot with him and the other model dancing there in the background with him right in front of the camera. And I did some rack focusing so that it could single him out, as well as focus back on the background where the model is, so that we could change some shots and create some variety in the shots. So bringing the artist in focus will bring your mind as an audience, bring your mind right to the artist and back to the model, switching just like that for some some effects, some cool effects. And that was as easy as I'm explaining. So in conclusion, what I learned from shooting in one space, having two setups done in that same space, was that it helped me squeeze myself in and display what I actually had in my head. And I maximized a little that I have. I didn't have a huge setup. I had just my camera, its lens, and just the running. Sometimes I'll swap using my bare hands or handheld, and I can also switch to the running if I needed it. But for the most part, I didn't have so much to worry about because we're shooting just one small space, and that's one advantage that you can have when you have just one space to deal with. You wouldn't have to use so much light. The little light that you have can be just enough for exposing your subjects. And because we had some versatile lights which we could change its color as we wanted, we were able to change the feel and the look of each shot as we went along. And that was just about that. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, turn on the post notification button to be always notified anytime I upload a new video to my YouTube channel. Until the next video, have a wonderful day. See ya.